Welcome to another exciting episode of STARFLEET Cinema, the series where we honor Star Trek talent contributions to non-Star Trek media. In today's episode, we examine a 1990 film that brought one of the biggest thriller novelists of his time to the big screen for the first time. The Hunt for Red October was first published in 1984 and marked the debut novel for late author Tom Clancy. It followed a CIA analyst who is the only person who believes that a legendary Soviet submarine commander is attempting to defect with the most advanced submarine in the Soviet fleet, while the US and the Soviets are attempting to sink it. The Hunt for Red October became a major success when then US President Ronald Reagan mentioned his enjoyment. Originally released in U.S. theaters on March 2, 1990, the film adaptation of The Hunt for Red October tells largely the same story, but with a few changes to make things interesting. Born Cheryl Gates McFadden in Akron, Ohio, United States on March 2, 1949, Gates McFadden portrayed Dr. Caroline Ryan, wife of Alec Baldwin's Jack Ryan in The Hunt for Red October. The character would be renamed Kathy and portrayed by actress Anne Archer in the subsequent Tom Clancy adaptations Patriot Games and Clear and Present Danger. McFadden would film her brief scene as Caroline during her controversial hiatus from her role as Dr. Beverly Crusher on Star Trek The Next Generation over that series' second season. By the time The Hunt for Red October was finally released, McFadden was back on The Next Generation. McFadden would continue on as Dr. Crusher through the remainder of The Next Generation's run, as well as the 4 TNG feature films, Season 3 of Star Trek Picard, and as the voices of both the holographic and real Crusher on Star Trek Prodigy. Born in Gurdon, Arkansas, United States on November 26, 1945, Daniel Davis appeared in The Hunt for Red October as Captain Charlie Davenport, commander of the American aircraft carrier USS Enterprise CVN-65. For Star Trek, Davis portrayed the holographic Professor James Moriarty in the Next Generation episodes Elementary Dear Data and Ship in a Bottle, and the Picard episode The Bounty. Born in what is now Chisinau, Moldova on July 26, 1960, Boris Krutanov appeared in The Hunt for Red October as Victor Slavin, diving officer of the Red October. The following year, Krutanov would appear as Lojor, helmsman of the USS Excelsior in Star Trek VI The Undiscovered Country. 5 years after that film, Krutanov would reprise his role as Lojor in the third season Voyager episode Flashback, which largely took place during the events of The Undiscovered Country. Born Timothy Grunig in Washington, District of Columbia, United States on December 24, 1963, Timothy Carhart appeared in The Hunt for Red October as Lieutenant Commander Bill Steiner, the commander of the Deep Submergence Rescue Vehicle Mystic. For Star Trek, Carhart appeared as Christopher Hobson, Data's temporary first officer on the USS Sutherland in the 5th season Next Generation episode Redemption 2. Born in Huntsville, Alabama, United States on November 20, 1964, Ned Vaughn appeared in The Hunt for Red October as Seaman Beaumont, a junior sonar officer aboard the USS Dallas. For Star Trek, Vaughn appeared as Corton Zweller, one of Jean-Luc Picard's two friends from Starfleet Academy, in the 6th season Next Generation episode Tapestry. Previously profiled in our Starfleet Cinema episode on the Starship Troopers franchise for his music scoring on the first film in that series, link in the upper right corner of your screen or in the description. Late composer Basil Polidorus composed the score for The Hunt for Red October. And now, a first here on Starfleet Cinema. Our next two subjects won an Academy Award for their work on today's Spotlight film. Born in Los Angeles, California, United States on September 19, 1949, George Waters II served alongside our next subject as a co-supervising sound effects editor on The Hunt for Red October, winning a share of the 1991 Academy Award for Best Sound Effects Editing. For Star Trek, Waters first collaborated with our next subject as a sound editor on Star Trek The Motion Picture, and would continue to work with her on The Wrath of Khan, The Search for Spock, and The Undiscovered Country, earning another Oscar nomination for the latter film. Unfortunately, no biographical data is available for Cecilia Hall, who collaborated with George Waters II on the Oscar-winning sound effects editing for The Hunt for Red October. Hall had previously worked with Waters on The Motion Picture, The Wrath of Khan, The Search for Spock, and would work with him again on The Undiscovered Country. Previously profiled in our Starfleet Cinema episode on Remo Williams' The Adventure Begins for her casting director's work on that film. Link in the upper right corner of your screen or in the description. Late casting director Amanda Mackie Johnson served in that same capacity on The Hunt for Red October. Unfortunately, no biographical data is available for Alan Howarth, who provided additional sound effects for The Hunt for Red October. Best known for his musical collaborations with longtime friend and legendary director John Carpenter, Howarth created special sound effects for all 6 original series-based Star Trek motion pictures.